people will know Lee's sign. This is Lee when he would talk to you.
He truly loved the grocery business. And I mean, it was sincere. He loved it, he loved being there, he loved every aspect of the business.
Lee knew a lot of people in the community, was very personable, and would go out of his way to make sure people felt welcomed in his store. And I think that sense of awareness was one of his greatest qualities of what was needed to really differentiate a local grocer from some of the large chains that he was competing against.
These were Lee's grocery stores, and he was out on the floor visiting his customers, assessing their needs, finding out what he could do to make their experience more elevated in his stores. And I think that was his contribution. His name was on the front of the stores, and he was out there in the front end making sure his customers were taken care of.
I think the minute you walk in, you just see this facility that's bright, it's clean.
It was a big thing with him that the floors were done every single night that you walked in. If you walked up and down the aisles, that everything is lined up and it's faced up every night, and it looks picture perfect when we start out the day.
There's hardly ever a can out of order in the stores, and Lee used to walk those aisles and look at those cans, and his team members knew what he expected. And I just think they are truly evidence of the hometown grocer. They know who their customers are, and I think they concentrate on that. And I think that'll set them apart, is they're not trying to be everything to everybody. They know who they are and what they want to be, and that's to serve the local customer.
They've raised the bar of the independent market. They've given all of us something to shoot for, and they have really, Lee and Sherry have really shown the independent retailers, which we all dearly love. They've shown us all how good we can really be.
Our store is very involved in the community. Dad was always from the very beginning. He wanted to get in with the high school and be supportive of their sporting programs and be supportive of the Lions Club. He was a member of Lions Club. Mom was a member of the Rotary Club. And I think that community service was a big part of what our store represents and what we try to do to be part of the community.
But he was a very driven man and wanted to be involved with the community. He felt like the community was very good to us, so we had to give back a lot to the community, and we tried to give back as much as we could.
As Dad started to really get sick and start to lose the abilities that he lost with ALS, he wanted to pass along a lot of things. I think what I got most from that time, that I knew things were short, I think what I got most was more than business lessons, was probably more of a life lesson. As the disease progressed and he became more and more limited, he really enjoyed going on car rides. I'd take him out and we'd drive around for 3-4 hours at a time and just talk about life.
Yeah, we took a drive up the canyon, which is one of his favorite places up the canyon. But his the excitement came when we went to the grocery stores, and he could see how many customers were in his parking lots and compared to his competition.
Even though we might be out enjoying a nice 3-hour ride, it always seemed to end up in the parking lot of a grocery store somewhere.
And I just admire Lee from the standpoint that he was committed to his business. His life, other than his family, was pretty much his business, his grocery stores. And I thought, here's a man near the end of his life, and he still got satisfaction out of going to the grocery store and seeing what was going on. It was incredible.
As time got shorter, I think the focus became more provide for your family, take care of the company, take care of the business, but really have a balanced life. Make sure that you spend time with your family and your kids and that thing. So that was an important part of what he taught me as things got shorter.
This man had an incredible smile, an incredible countenance about him, that life was good, that things were good, and he never changed that.
And he was positive. He was going to deal with this thing and enjoy life to its fullest.
As badly as his body was ravaged, he was still there. He couldn't speak, but he didn't have to. He truly left an impression on all of us.
one of our managers, our store director in our Smithfield store, was asked right after Lee passed away, so now what's going to happen with the stores now that Lee's gone? And Peter looked at him and said, well, they're just going to go on just the way as if Lee was here.
I really hope that as 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, my children are as involved in it as I was. I think the grocery store is a place that you learn so much more than just bagging groceries, and it's working with the public, it's work ethic, it's learning those things that are necessary for life.
If Lee came back for a day, I would probably take him aside and tell him how proud he ought to be of his son. Both Jonathan and Jeremy have, I know, exceeded both their parents' expectations. And I think both of the young men have gone separate paths, but have developed a life that it was worthy of their hopes and dreams. I think I'd also pull Lee aside and tell him how much Sherry loved him and missed him.